Here we go, viewers. Top tip: don't unmute your microphone. Alright, let's try this again. Welcome to tonight's stream of ACCSS Silver Split Season 4, Round 2 on the Nurburgring. I'm Lost Ketchup, and in the box beneath me, as always, is my favorite Austrian, Julian Strasser.
Oh, thanks for being your favorite Austrian. I enjoy being here too.
You better be. You're gonna throw a lot of trouble to get to. And we've gone through a lot of trouble in the past 5 minutes trying to fix this whole stream, so we're just hoping that nothing else breaks now. Probably. But yeah, we got a lovely race for tonight. 2 times 30 minutes, and it's currently raining. And we all know rainy races are the best races. Ain't that so, Julian?
Yes, definitely. If not enjoyable to race, it's at least going to be definitely enjoyable to watch it, because yeah, people are going to have problems.
People are going to kill themselves in the hairpin, in the Schumacher races, just about everywhere. And thank you, Madam Mims Man, for subscribing. It is quite literally money in my pocket. And also, yes, I am quiet. We'll fix that. Now. Probably like that. Someone saying Schumacher is a cake. I disagree. It is actually a left-right turn.
I want to see it.
Yeah, I want to see it before it happens too, actually. Because God knows we are going to have probably 1 or 2 crashes a day, as we have. If I can just find the numbers here. A lot of drivers. Definitely a lot of drivers. 42 drivers, in fact. Which means that the camera now breaks. There we go. Have some Chris Meadows while we wait for the race. 42 drivers on a track that is not exactly the biggest in the world. What are the challenges, Julian?
Well, the challenge is definitely the first sector, because in the first sector, it is hard getting a line, finding the correct driving line around there, especially if you're not so experienced on racing the track. As these guys obviously are not. We are here in a rookie league. We cannot stress that enough. And this is the middle split. So finding a good line through the first sector, through the Mercedes S, is going to be the most crucial part about today's race.
Indeed.
Be it dry or wet.
And especially more so now that we're not having a torrential rain, but we're having a slightly wet race where there's going to be a dry line, hopefully. Obviously, this is currently 8:21 a.m. in game, which means the track could dry up, but I mean, considering this is ACC, it's probably not gonna. And yes, I'm currently fixing something here, and we are all fixing something, because I suppose you people would like to have some timings, right? Which is currently Julian's table. Can you tell me about that? Is it actually working for once?
Trying to install a new program right here. Don't just wait for it.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, we are having some technical issues. Surprisingly, no technical issues amongst the drivers. Everyone seems present and accounted for. I think only 1 or 2 has actually said, nah, I'm not coming tonight, for a variety of reasons, which I'm just gonna check now. I can find the chat here. Uh, Adam Rayner, one of my beloved favorite people, is not gonna be here, and he is in the chat, I believe. So, Adam, just say hi to people again, because I know you want.
Yes, unfortunately, Adam is basically the one who has the technical problems because his what was it? His pedals stopped working, and he ordered new pedals, but unfortunately, they did not arrive in time for today's race.
And I mean that's just sad, because I mean, I'm a simple man. There are two people I enjoy watching killing themselves. It's Adam Rayner and Chris Meadows.
Well, one of those people is at least in today's race.
That's great because we're gonna need that. I'm just gonna open the game here. We got some people from last week who did well. Ollie Hendley, Brandon McVee, how you pronounce it, Paul Cramp, Paul Greatrix. We also have the season. Now I'm gonna do some head count here. Season 2's AM champion Serenity Morrow, who missed last week. And I mean, I had high hopes for her last season, but I'm gonna have high hopes for it this season too. Other lovely introductions are Head Honcho Dan Terry, delivery maker Stefan Bunatix, and a bunch of Swedish people too, actually. I don't know why it's a surprise that we have Swedish people on the track, but we do. We do. So we will actually go and say, how about you viewers? Do you have anyone that we're going to be cheering for today? Or you, for that matter, Julian, you can what's called say something as well.
Yeah, of course. I'm just astounded seeing the table right now. The problem is again we have an amp driver on top right now. Well,
I don't know
problem.
that's
Is it a
happening
problem?
for some reason.
It is Nathan Burnswood again.
It is again. He had pretty darn good race last week until I think he killed himself twice, right?
Yes, only in one race though. Uh, but I have a few facts about Nathan Burnswood we didn't go through last time.
I do love some fun facts. Go for it.
He is a videographer and video editor, and as well as a drone operator by profession.
That's
He loves
cool.
loves cars and racing, but is also into rock climbing and surfing or anything that gets the adrenaline going.
So he's a badass. That's what you're saying.
He is quite a badass, and he's in a team with Gintautas Bartkus, our very own Jin, who is racing in the Gold Split this season.
Our very
And
own what?
Jin,
Ultimate Jin.
yeah, his name is literally Jin Tautas.
Oh, it makes sense now.
Our
Kinda.
very own alcoholic drink.
Well, I mean, he's not drunk while on the track. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. So anyway, through Jin Tartas Bartkus is how Nathan Burnswood found out about ACCSS, and that's why we got the honor of having him with us tonight.
Excellent. Nathan is, of course, a credit to the league. Good driver, all that. Another person that I'm now focusing on here is, I know you want to say the name, so it's the Tondi gentleman.
Turbo Tondi, aka Tondirain Pambawashe.
What a name. Turbo Tondi. Who actually did okay last week, especially in race 2 where he was driver of the day.
Yeah, seeing that he's definitely one of the other AM drivers in this split who's looking for a good placement overall in the season.
Yeah, I mean, he might make it. Of course, in rain, all bets are off. Everyone can win, right?
Everyone can win tonight, which might work worse actually for the championship contenders. But it doesn't look like that for our own Mr. Burnswood right here.
I mean, if we ignore the part where he did pretty much yeet himself on Bathurst, Probably be fine. And Julian, you seem to be crying in the chat again.
Yes.
Yeah, that's fair. I understand.
See this laptop?
We are indeed seeing this laptop.
Well,
yes, it broke, didn't it? Or ACC broke. And I'm saying that right as everything else breaks.
something broke. We don't know what exactly. We have to go get to fixing that for the next time around. However, let's focus on today's race because soon the qualifying is going to start. And I have some very interesting news about who?
About who? I'm
About who?
curious.
That's a good question. Ollie Hanley. Ollie
What about
Hanley, we
him?
didn't go through last time. He's looking rather well today as well. He's from Bristol in England. He's a 25-year-old engineer who has a passion for racing as well as cars. He's been sim racing for 6 months and found ACCSS on the ACC forum page, not through Reddit like most people find us.
I didn't even know we
So
were on the ACC forums.
apparently we are, or
We are.
someone advertised us that. Thank you very much if you
We
are
have
here.
fans, in case you didn't know. I mean, cool people like Eris likes us. He said
Yes,
that himself.
he did.
Eris, the vehicle physics guy of this game.
Lovely.
I love that. Yeah.
Anyways, Ollie Hanley just got promoted from tier 4 to tier 3, so he's just looking for consistency points. But I think now he's looking for more, seeing his good results.
Yep. 2 podiums last week. Which is, I mean, basically the same as winning. I actually don't. I think he won. Didn't he win 1 or 2 races? You remember that better than I do.
that
Because
is a good question. I don't remember it as
I
well.
have a notoriously spotty memory after all. Which is why I'm a broadcaster. Duh.
Which is why you're the broadcaster and I'm the commentator. But apparently, I have to fail you right now.
Now you're saying that because I still can't get the broadcast tools to work. Which, for
No,
all the viewers that don't know, that's a pretty important tool actually, because then we can actually switch between drivers.
and yes, Ollie Handley did get 1 win last time around. That is true.
But I'm not
He's
completely
currently
wrong.
on 1 win with Brandon McVie, who are both looking to get a good spot in the championship for this time around, as well as Paul Gratrix, who has done well despite not having a win under his belt. Those are the top 3 currently for our tier 3 drivers.
More you know. The more you know.
For tier 4, however, where is he? He's far down the order currently in the free practice. Jack Harvey,
Yeah,
our
that's
double
actually a good
race
point. He
winner.
had our dominant Bathurst race winner, actually.
Yes, he won it twice for the tier 4. But this time around, he needs to step up his game a bit in order to keep up with Nathan Burnswood and Maurizio Radaelli, as well as it seems.
Indeed. Indeed, he does. A lot of people obviously need to step it up because there were some people who should have done better, like Fabian Poigny, who is actually doing pretty well today. Didn't have a good week last time. Jesper Eriksson in his very sexy car, if I can find him again. I can't. There he is. I was sexy last week. People that we know from tier 4 are actually pretty good drivers. When it works. Okay. I'm gonna give you, Julian, I'm gonna give you car number 249. 249, I said. The game. 259, 257, sorry. And you're gonna commentate on him because I still need to fix the broadcast tool.
257, that's
Nikolai
that's the name that I have actually troubles with pronouncing.
Hoinarescu, I think.
Hoinarescu.
Okay, I'm just gonna
Something
go
like
onto
that.
the there we go, and I'll give you a video feed. I'm sure you'll appreciate.
I have some information about Hoinorescu as he's on his outlap currently.
Go
He's
ahead.
from Bucharest, which is Bucharest.
That's Romanian.
Is it Romania? All right, we got a
How, how,
Romanian guy here.
how can you not know the capital of Romania?
Is that the capital of Romania? I only know Transylvania is in Romania.
It is, but that's like, well, that's the rural part of the country.
That's rural, and it's got some nice castles, which is what I'm looking for.
Right.
Anyways,
Actually, no, I'm just gonna cut you out here because we're just gonna have to leave the server real quick and rejoin so the broadcast tool works. So you're just gonna have to talk for a bit about what he's doing on the lab because he is our first driver on the track.
well, he's still on his outlap,
Also, we're not
so
missing much, you're saying.
I'll still be going. And about a fun fact about him, he once buried his cart in a haystack during quali session, so he's a kart racer, and he has done badly, and he's expecting to do as badly this time around. Anyways, we're starting off on the start finish straight.
As we are now on with him, actually. There we go.
We are on the lap right now, and we're going to the first corner, braking about at 100 meters, going into the Castrol S,
We're just gonna change it to broadcasting display, but go on.
going into the Mercedes arena, having a very challenging few left-handers right here. Turn 2 and turn 3 right after that. In my opinion, the most challenging turn on this whole track. Then the right-hander to exit the Mercedes-Benz arena. As we go onto the short straight called RTL.
By the German television station, of course.
Of course, you know it. Going into third for turn 6 and into the fourth curve.
That's German for turn.
Yes. Going onto the staying onto the straight here, and in the middle of these two runoff areas, starting to brake up down into second or first, depending on which car you're taking, through the Dunlop Kehre, going up the hill, lifting a bit into the Schumacher S, braking a bit in this case. You don't have as much grip, of course, when you're in the wet. Now, braking at about 100 meters for the Kumho curve. And going back into second for the Bit curve. And now onto the high-speed part of the straight. We're still in sector 2 right here. Through the Hatzenbeckbogen. And we go into the Wiedel. The chicane at the end, looking nice and stable through there as we go through the Coca-Cola curve to get onto the start-finish straight again and finish the lap. With a 2:05.8, which is not a bad time in the wet.
No, but it doesn't show up on the display, which we'll have to fix, obviously. If you can keep us talking as we...
Yeah, so
Sorry, we're having a lot of issues.
a 2:05.8 is a good lap to start it out on. It's of course not the best of laps if you actually want to qualify at the top, because we saw 2:02s flying around before in the practice sessions. These guys are definitely looking to get down into those kind of parts again.
Indeed. But our fastest lap run out is Nathan Birchwood at a 2:03.1.
2:03.1. That is Nathan Burnswood, how we know him. Directly behind Mihai Hoinorescu. He's on this first outlap already pushing the boundaries of what you can actually do.
This is probably a good idea because he is, and the viewers can see this, 8/10 up on Fabian Cicanzi. I'm just gonna say that's probably a pole position right there.
Well,
else where we can.
I wouldn't say it's necessarily going to be a pole position already. This was the out lap, the first flying lap for most of these people, for all of these people actually. uh,
Yeah, that's true, but I mean, still. Still pretty darn fast. As we see Turbo Tundis in P5, and we're on board here with Dominic Joy, who's on pretty good lap times currently.
Dominic Joy, I still enjoy that name.
Indeed, this is a very joyful name. But we are with Joy here because he's up 1.5 seconds, which would actually put him in P2, I think.
Well, he's definitely going to enjoy this, which is
Hey
going to
yo,
put him in
two
P3.
2:03.999.
Well, if his goal was to be below the 204s, he definitely reached it by 1,000th.
Quite literally.
Perfect.
Let's go on here. Torsten Jatkin. I presume this is his home track because he's in an Audi and it is the Nurburgring and he is very German. So, you know.
I can confirm Torsten Jatke is German. He's a 32-year-old jet engine working at a jet engine overhaul facility.
That's
All
cool
right.
too. Jet engines are cool.
And almost no one is able to pronounce his last name correctly.
Am I able to do it?
Well, the name originates from Poland, so I guess not.
Oh,
I guess the German way to pronounce it, Jatke, is not correct then.
Well, in that case, I have no idea. Still, he should be having a good run because I presume this is his home track. Now we're being asked, where is Leonard de Muink? Well, he hasn't actually completed a valid lap yet.
Yes, our fellow Belgian? We are not Belgian. Our
I'm not
resident Belgian around here is having troubles on the wet track, it seems. In this beautiful white and pink car.
What those hard candies that you suck on? What they're called? Not lollipops, but the ones without the stick in it.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean. It's Unfortunately, I cannot tell you that, but
I don't know the name either.
But it looks like Leonard de Muink is on a flying lap right here, on a valid
He
lap
should be.
speed. Let's see what it puts him at. 419. What?
Now that okay, then this has to be his out lap.
That must have been his outlap, just waiting a bit, testing the waters, seeing what all of the other guys are doing.
We're
Ooh,
just
but misbraking there into T1.
we're just gonna go away from him again because Serenity Moral has just parked the car. That's not what I wanted to say. She has just set a P3, which means she's finally going as fast as I remember her because I've raced against her, and she's fast.
That is a stunning move. Get a quick lap and immediately out. Then it's like, fuck this, I'm out.
You can't swear here. This is a Christian Minecraft server.
Oh, I said FUG, fug. That is not a swear word, isn't it?
Not in German, I think, but probably on the internet. Or something like that. I don't know. Why is it everyone I'm looking at crashes for some reason? Let's go on with Jonas Nergård, my Danish compatriot.
Fog is a warm,
Would
stuffy, or smoky atmosphere in a room.
Okay, that's what you said. I'll believe that.
Yes.
Actually, no, we're gonna go to Eric Strom because he's having a bad day. And when I feel good, I just want to annoy one of our oldest drivers in the championship. And
I wouldn't say that he's one of our oldest drivers because we've some people in their 50s, and if I remember correctly, Eric is in his 38 or something like that.
He's not 38. He has a 17-year-old son.
Yeah, so the math would still work out, wouldn't it?
I don't know. I don't know,
Oh,
man.
he's 48. 48. I knew it
It
was
makes
something
more.
with an
That
8.
makes a lot more sense. That still makes him one of the oldest. It also makes him one of the slowest, because as you can see, his fastest lap is 7 seconds down. I mean, we love you, Eric, but please drive faster. And actually, that was a good shot because you can see how slippery the painted tarmac on the outside is. Very
Yes,
shiny.
definitely. Tarmac, the painted one, is not to be trifled with at all.
No.
Going onto the curbs as well is a very dangerous matter, especially when you're in the Honda NSX, which is a pretty unstable car if you are not managing it well.
Indeed, it is a death trap. Now, Mims Man asks, how wet is the track according to the game? And I believe you can tell us that.
According to the game, it is wet.
Just wet.
Wet.
Just wet. But there you go, people. It's wet track. And we don't know how. I think we need to find out exactly how wet it is.
It is somewhere between moist and torrential downpour.
Yeah, I can live with incredibly moist. It is incredibly moist out there. Actually, I'm gonna go back to talking about the qualifying because Nathan Burnswood, who is in a very incredible car, has set a 2:02.7.
That is a good lap.
That is a very good lap.
That is definitely going to put him up the standing already, as there's only 2 more minutes left in the qualifying session for our AM drivers.
Indeed. And we got Fabian Poigny, not about to set a faster lap. Oral, not about to set a faster lap. Dominic Joy, also not about to set a faster lap. But, you can't see, is about to set a faster lap. Takansi also did pretty well on that first. I mean, not race winning well, but pretty well actually.
But there's another person. If you quickly want to switch to P18, Maurizio Radaelli.
I will if I can find him.
He's 2 seconds ahead in his time.
He looked off the track,
and he's losing it in the last corner.
Loud pedal.
That was
one of the loudest pedals we've seen today. And we're going to see a lot of loud pedals here.
But I still put him in P11, which is
pretty
middle of the
good.
field. It's pretty good standing.
But let's see how Kansi goes because he's going to go do a big one now, I think.
Fabio Sicanzi,
is
0.5
on the gravel.
Up on his time.
Never mind.
On the gravel. Still up into P3, which is not bad. Putting Serenity Moral off of a moral high point.
How long have you waited to say that? I would like, viewers, I would like to apologize for Julian and his puns. In fact, I would like to apologize for everything he's doing.
That was completely... Oh, that was not even planned.
Oh, but I mean, I'm still embarrassed. I'm embarrassed.
I'm proud of this. Let me have my moment.
You will have your moment, but I'm just gonna sit here and pretend it didn't happen. Dominic Joy. Dominic Joy. Is currently up half a second coming into the last hairpin. If he keeps that, that could put him in P2.
Lots of the people are going very wide in the last turn.
Yeah.
It lost Dominic Joy all of his time right now. It lost Kanzi most of his time before.
And that is the end of the AM qualifying because now we're going to the pros now, which you can see leaving the track, entering the track. And also, we do not talk about my puns because they're brilliant. There we go, I broke him again.
The chat roasting you is lovely.
They're gonna roast me either way. Now, let's see. Also, just...
Bruce Hughes is still out on track for the AM splits.
And for those who are wondering, where is Leonard Dimmerk? He didn't set a valid time. Because I know one person is gonna ask about it.
Oh, that is not a good showing by him today.
Nope.
Oh, and Bruce Hughes spins it on the last turn.
How unfortunate. Anyway,
Who are we looking at?
we're looking at Ollie Henley. Not the first pro driver out there, but definitely the most interesting.
Ollie Hanley in his Ferrari. He's definitely not going to have the nicest of time controlling it around here. Mid-engine car, not the most stable at all times, especially in the wet.
I mean, it's a Ferrari. It's understeery, so I mean that's actually an advantage here because normally you just oversteer all the time.
But it's a foreign car on German soil. I mean,
You know what?
it
If
is.
it worked for Michael, it'll work for Ollie, right?
Well, it worked for Nathan Burnswood as well, as I'm looking up the standings right
Yeah,
now.
but I mean, as much as I like Burnswell, he's no Schumacher.
Oh, yeah, there was a Formula One reference. I see.
If I
Yes.
can't talk about German people in Italian cars, I don't know what I can talk about.
Well, we can talk about Ollie Hanley crossing the finish line to
No,
start finish line to
it's his
start his
outlap.
first
Yeah,
lap.
let's go
To
on board with
start
him.
his first lap, yes. Let's go on board. Let's see how he does actually into turn one, taking it very tight. It's
The
looking
arena,
good.
which is like the
Onto
worst part.
the most challenging part. Let's put it that way.
I feel like that's what I said.
But you can see here he's not taking any of the curbs. Oh, except for that one. He's not afraid of that one.
Perhaps you should be.
He definitely was careful around it, but boy,
Oi.
boy.
He's not enjoying that, but you can see a slight hint of a dry line, I think. A very slight hint of it.
Yeah, dry line starts to form, which, well, it is maybe helping them a little bit, the pro drivers, but I wouldn't bet on it too much as the rain doesn't seem to stop. Medium rain all the way.
Would you say that is beyond moist? Okay, I'll shut up about moist. I'll shut up about it.
What we can definitely say is that this track is wet, fairly wet, so.
But
And
taking all
Ollie
the line
Hanley is
there,
still. Sorry, what?
yeah, he didn't exactly take all the line available there.
Yeah, it's challenging going
They're going flat out here, actually. Still, let's see where it puts him. E2.
instant P2. That is looking lovely right
Is I
there.
do it, and Paul Kraft also in there with a 2036.
Keep in mind there was only the first outlap, so they're definitely going to look to improving on that time.
We got a little bit of confidence in the track. Andy Ford, Keith Griffel has also set lap times. We're just waiting for some more people to come in before we can actually talk about them.
But I really enjoy the mental strength of Ollie Henley and Paul Kempf going that quick for the first outlap, for their usually the one lap that you put in safely to get into a safe position, which obviously Leonard de Moink didn't do today, unfortunately for him.
Okay, we're gonna stay with Ollie because his current pace is a pole pace. And that
He's
is
looking
very
very
interesting.
stable through the Schumacher S right there. And yes, he's half a second up on his time, looking like it. Let's
Very
hope
interesting.
that he doesn't hit Dan Terry as a.
Go on.
I forgot the terminology.
I'll let it slide. But currently still half a second up, and so is Paul Cramp behind him. Let's see if this is a pole time.
Well, Paul certainly didn't set a pole time, but still improved, putting him into self P3. And Ollie Henley with a 2:02.39. That is great showing by the Englishman.
Certainly is. Elsewhere on the track, Daniel Grundhofer. In a Bentley, on a British solo. I said a good lap.
Daniel Grundhofer, the German.
Okay,
Putting himself...
P25 isn't exactly setting the world afire, but it is something.
It is a safe lap. You
It's
can
a safe lap.
show.
But here's what scares me. Chris Meadows did a good lap. I mean, it's Chris. He usually kills himself, but...
I mean,
At some point, he definitely does.
We are not on a wall track around here, so Chris Meadows might have some runoff in order to not kill himself all the way around.
Potentially. Alright. Rain on the Sundays, well, that is a good question.
And it's going to be a definite yes if the Saturday split already has such a almost torrential downpour happening.
We have, I believe the weather is set for 0.2, around 20% chance of rain in this case, or 20% clouds on the server. And the weather test came, it was like everything was possible, basically, in terms of weather. So I imagine it's going to be a lot worse for Sunday split.
It might be everything, and weather randomness is also turned on for the Sunday split, which it is not for today's split, meaning that weather can change during the session.
But I'm noticing a lot of the pro guys here are actually slower than the AM guys. And the rain picked up during the qualifying.
It doesn't look like it, but if it might just be an outlier where the practice pays off for many of these AM guys.
It still looks quite suspicious, if you ask me. Let's just look at the top here. It's mostly AM guys.
Yeah, that is a good showing by the AM guys today, and it shows that rain can really differentiate the field.
And it certainly has. Let's see, there are not really many interesting times coming because everyone is slower than usual. Just as go to Gulden is here, I mean, he's up half a second, but he's still 4 seconds down.
He's up half a second after turn 1, nonetheless.
Which is pretty good, actually. We just had a change here, I guess.
I like the color of his Porsche, though. That turquoise, kind of.
Subtle turquoise.
It's very blending in with the weather right now.
Yeah, that is one way of putting it. If you put it in the sky, you couldn't see it, I think.
It's a chameleon color. Lovely.
Go look at back. Actually, no. Actually, let's go on him because he's still doing pretty well. Up a second, I guess. I mean, it is a Porsche, so you'd expect it to go fast, right?
Yeah, and he's looking very safe right here through the Schumacher S, and now... Ooh, he's over a second up on his time right now. He's definitely looking to improve. The problem that the Porsche has, especially in these conditions, as a rear-engined car, it has loads of rear grip, but loses the front quite easily.
I would probably be careful saying that because I think he's probably racing the Evo version of it, mid-engined.
Are you pulling my leg right now?
I actually don't know what version he is racing, but they moved the engine forward in the Evo version. Slightly forward, I guess. 2055. We're gonna
Putting
go.
him in.
Yep, go for it.
Yeah, put him with a whole bunch of other pro drivers. Still very much at the back of the pack, though.
And here Ollie comes. He's up half a second, so that could be a blinder of a lap.
If he does manage to pull up a 201 right here. And he does.
Oh, well, that's a pole position. I feel pretty
Well,
confident in saying that.
I guess we found the car which is best in these conditions. It seems like the
It's
Ferrari.
the
If you
Ferrari,
look at
yeah.
the top four.
Yeah. But also an honorable showing by the Lexus of Shupit Chatterjee.
Which is really an honorable showing considering before in the chat he posted who is in the no practice gang today. So, without any practice, being the first non-Ferrari, as I said it, Nathan Wells takes away that spot in his Honda. Well, still an admirable showing by Shubik Chatterjee, without any practice being able to set such a good time. And Nathan Wells, what has he done in
Goes
this lap?
off-road. Well, it's in a cool looking Honda, which automatically gives him a second per lap.
Yeah, it's like the racing stripes,
It is, yeah.
just better in this case, because it's really awesome. Anyways.
Mike Doherty, just to bring an Aston on the track here, makes a mistake, obviously.
That
And
is the
has to let Ollie
commentator's
past.
curse. That is a commentator's curse if I've ever seen one. Brian Dahl is looking up on his time right now.
Certainly is. Do you have any fun facts about him? Because I'm curious.
Brian Dahl, not Dahl. He's from Scotland. He's a huge Glasgow Rangers fan. We went through this last time already, but I'll just
okay.
repeat
Yeah, I'll go
myself.
for it anyway.
And he's hoping to finish every race and, if possible, every race in the top 10, which he's currently looking like for a split. And yeah, here's the fun fact, which you already laughed about last time. In 2001, he was voted best guitar player in his postcode.
I love that. He's also doing a 201, a 203 actually. So
That was a nice
that
lap,
is a
putting
good
it
one.
in P5 for Pro Split.
And Brandon
P6
McVie
after
follows
Brent
up.
McVie comes around.
Of course, we were just talking about someone and he shows up. Because I was actually going to mention him because he was a bit slow, but he's back up now, so everything is fine and dandy. Let's go to the back here. The Castrol Lexus thing. It has...
Hugo Sanchez.
That is
yes.
an Aston Martin. I'd like to apologize. I just realized that, but currently up 2 seconds. I don't know if it's invalid, but well, let's hope for him it is, because he is currently second last.
Hugo Sanchez is having problems, and he has been a very, let's say, mouthy guy in my answers, in my questionnaire answers, because he said that he was looking to advance into Gold Split for this season.
Yeah, not with those lap times. Sorry, Hugo, we love you, but I mean, not with those lap times. Alright, that was the qualifying. There's plenty of people still in track, actually. Brandon McVeigh here, looking to do a 202. Probably the most interesting guy.
Yeah, and I've got some facts about Brandon as well.
Good, buddy.
He's from New England, USA, and he's a family man who loves playing guitar and spending time in driving and flight simulators. And he says the only way we will beat COVID-19 is for everyone to start sim racing. That is a fact.
That makes sense. But has he ever been best guitar player in his postcode?
He's not saying so. So we
We need
might
to
have to have a guitar battle around here.
may have to, yes. Well, not much of an improvement, but that was one of our last final laps. Now there are two guys still on the track, 889 and 666. Andrew Hearn, in his lonesome majesty, I think the only McLaren on the grid. I mean,
No,
no?
Hoynerescu in the AM split is in the McLaren.
Ah, yes.
But those are the only two McLarens, which is quite the surprise, I have to honestly say.
It was a very popular car a few seasons ago.
Indeed, it was. Andrew Hearn looking not very well right here, is in the last position of the pro split. Now looking to improve himself at least a little bit. Takes the last turn all right.
Not amazing,
Com-
but alright.
comes across the line and puts himself in front of Hugo Sanchez.
Can live with that. And Hugo is actually the last guy on the track. Not that it matters,
pro
because
split.
decision is over. Decision is indeed over, as people for some reason seem to ping me on Discord, which they shouldn't. So yeah, there we have it. Ollie Henley on pole position in front of Nathan Burnswood, Paul Cramp, and Fabian Poigny. Bit the same crowd we saw last week, but maybe it jumped up in a slightly different configuration, I guess.
It is a bit different. We didn't have Soul Ferraris on the top around the mountain.
Yeah, that's true, but now we got 5 in top 10.
And two of them are AMs, which is very admirable strength shown by Nathan Burnswood and Fabian Poigny.
Yep, everyone knows that the vegan car did not have a good race last week. And just to drive the point home, if I can find him again. I know that custom liveries are technically banned, but it is not going to stop us, is it?
Some
Nope.
people are not going to be stopped by it.
Never. But if you
So is this toy boy of
if you
Fabian
paint Soy
Poigny.
Boy on your car, I mean, I don't know what to say. More power to him, I guess. And broccoli.
I don't have any facts about Fabian Poigny in my list.
No, but
we know
I'm
the
gonna
fact
assume
that
he's vegan. I'm gonna assume he's vegan, and I'm gonna assume
he
we're
is
gonna have
actually vegan. That is true.
a genius. Alright, I'm gonna do a grid walk now. Hope you're all ready for this, because I'm gonna sip a bit of Monster before this. Okay, you ready? And pole position is Ollie Henley. In front of Nathan Burnswood. Row 2 is Paul Cramp, Fabian Poigny. Row 3, Wills, McVeigh. Chatterjee, Dal. Dickensi, Oral. Doherty, Joy. Harvey, Dan Terry, who still owes me 13 euros. All Greatrix, Tom Tweedy. Tundi Tober Tundi. Stephen Bonatix. Yes, they're in the same livery. Orb, Hodge, Radeli, Chris Meadows, Steve Griffel, Kobe, I think we agreed on.
Kobe, yeah.
Kobe. Gatke, Walker, Menink, Einer Rescue, Daly, Lundhofer, Gültnitz, Eriksson, Turner, Lücke, Schultens, Hughes, Zambrano, Niaga, Hugo Sanchez, Blank Spot, Eric Strom, Leonard DeMonk, and Andrew Hearn. Those are your 42 heroes of today's race. And I say heroes because that's what they are.
And to quickly talk about why those Tom Tweedy and Stefan Bunetics have the same livery, they are not team racing. It is just because Mr. Bunetics made that beautiful golf livery, and Mr. Tweedy said, "Hey, I like the livery. Could I please take it as well?"
He's, and you know, Boomskis can't say no, right?
No, he's a nice guy. He cannot say no to that.
Let's get a bit of shot at it. Alright, 30 seconds until we go. Until completion lap.
20 seconds.
As you can see, it is still incredibly wet out there, so wet tires, I assume.
10 seconds.
Yes, it's definitely going to be wet tires as the track is still wet. It's not greasy or anything moist below that.
It's above moist.
It is above moist. It is wet, which means that you definitely need the wet tires. Most of these people, hopefully all of them, are going to use them, are going to get a bit more grip out of that. And as they start to go single file into the formation lap.
Next question is, how many of these have actually set up any form of wet setup for this?
I would be guessing that most of them took the wet presets that ACC is providing per standards, simply because it is a pretty safe setup, and the one thing that you want in these conditions is to be safe and stable, and that was definitely what is being provided. So I hope most of these people have actually chosen to use it.
We're just gonna go on here because I'm noticing in several parts, at least the first sector, there's a lot of puddles actually in the track.
Yes, that's going to be very dangerous.
Puddles are the silent killer, after all.
So, what you need to do around the puddle is you need to lift a bit. You need to lift a bit from the throttle, and that is going to be a challenge when you're in a race mode and you want to go on the throttle because you see the person in front of you. You want to overtake the person, you want to catch them, but you have to go let off of it in order to be safe. No, that cannot go through.
I mean, you let go too much and a guy hits you in the back. You don't let go and you spin off and he hits you at the side instead. A lot of fun choices for, on how you want to crash the car. Anyway, just to reiterate the rules, it is a 30-minute race with one mandatory pit stop. At the end of the 30 minutes, we all high-five each other and we go have another 30-minute race. I think I pretty much summed it up, didn't I?
That was quite the sum up.
I would say succinct even.
There's a one thing that you could add is there's a mandatory tire change, which means you do not need to refuel, but you definitely should.
Fueling is faster than tires after all.
And it happens at the same time, because the pit's crew is that good.
Indeed they are, and we're now in double file. Gonna go on hill I cam, I think. Because that is the best way of seeing people crash. Again, it's Ollie Henley and Nathan Brunswood. They're not racing each other, but I mean, they can if they want to. Separate points for top 15 in each class, and we are go.
And a drive-through for Keith Griffel for not holding the position at the start.
Rania with a good one, or it's Bernie with a bad one, we'll see. Coming to T1. No kills. Most people seem to have gone through T1 alive.
But we have an immediate 15-second penalty for causing a collision. That must have happened in the qualifying session.
For who?
That is a good question.
As Julian is referencing, we have
For-
our live steering team on action again today.
The 15-second penalty was for Andrew Hearn.
Oh, well, he's already last, so... Well, I think everyone actually made it through both T1 and the Mercedes part, the arena, without killing each other.
There have been 7 incidents recorded.
Which is comparatively low, all things considered.
Oh, but now there's been some trouble.
Tell me, I wish to know.
Oh. Unfortunately, I didn't catch it, but there's incidents coming in right now. Dan Terry was involved in one.
Can't even trust the league owner. But coming halfway through lap 1, we have Ollie Henley in front of Fabian Poigny and Brendan McVie here. Already nice and spread out, actually, considering it's only been 1 lap.
Yeah, there's been some problems further back, and...
The map says we have a huge gap somewhere. Let's see if we can find it. With Keith Gribble in the lead here of the gap. As Chris Meadows goes, takes an interesting route. And for our regular viewers, you will know that Chris Meadows often goes interesting ways.
And we have instant pitters already.
Yeah, Keith Griffith, I assume that's his penalty for the start.
Ah, yes, the drive-through, exactly. I'm sorry. We've got a 10-second penalty coming in for car number 285.
Question, that is Serenity Moral, who for some reason has actually dropped a lot of positions.
That must have been an incident at the start.
Which is weird because we haven't actually got a yellow flag for her at some point, but she started P10. Another casualty, I assume, is Mika Lykke, who didn't start high up, but is still behind, and Irvin Schultens. But again, no yellow flags called for them, so we don't actually know what happened. Although we just saw a car go very much sideways. Great question, who was it? Number 54. Dominic Joy.
If you want to switch to the front, Fabian Poigny and Brendan McVie are having a straight-up battle for second place overall.
Ah, yes, let's have that.
Fabian Poigny and Brendan McVie both having had a great start. Poigny starting from 4th, now up into 2nd. McVie starting from 6th, now up into 3rd.
Yeah, Burnswood had a very slow start and just let them pass.
But
and
in
you
the
can see
front,
Ollie Henley in the
Henley's
front.
Yes, he's currently driving away, it seems.
Yeah, a bit like Bathurst.
Let's see, he put a 2:03 and 2 at the first flying lap, which is so far the best lap of the race. And it will stay for this lap at least, I reckon.
Should be, yeah. I see a bunch of people here are actually in position around here with Cramp now. In theory, a good 4 people could actually get the 2nd place with a bit of luck. As Pointy goes wide.
There will be a 5-second penalty for Bruce Hughes.
He's not used to that, is he? Okay, I'm sorry. Burnswood and Pointy just had a collision. Sorry, that was obvious.
Oh god. The funny thing about this is Hughes is not how you pronounce that name. but I have no idea how you pronounce the name.
Anyway, can we check if Burnwood is getting a penalty? No, Burnswood, because he did hit Pointy while overtaking him, which actually cost him a position, as Brennan McVie has actually taken the second place now.
The incident has been recorded, but the stewards are not yet up to there. They have quite some incidents still to look onto. As there will be a 5-second penalty for Dan Terry, it seems like.
Yes, the Tanberries has made something bad. What did we call him? Nathaniel Terrence.
Denathan Terry.
Denathan-
Denathan Terrence.
Yes. Oh, and here Pointies goes sliding again.
Going a very defensive line, Pointy there, defending
I don't
against
think it was
Paul
defensive. I
Cramp.
think that was a loud pedal.
Well, but it ended up in being a defensive line, so he can...
I don't think it was
he can
intentional.
cover that.
Okay, we got now we got action. Wells is actually in a position to take Cramp now.
There's many people fighting right there. There's even Paul Gretrix right behind them. But Nathan Wells goes up on the inside there. It seems like a very simple overtake. Look, the straight line speed of Nathan Wells' Honda was just better in this case.
And actually notice how 2 Ferraris have slipped into top 10. So now 7 of the drivers are Ferrari drivers.
And there will be a 10-second penalty for car number 889, which is Hugo Sanchez. Unfortunate for the guy who had a bad start, and now it seems even getting worse.
Oh dear.
Pit window is open.
Pit window has opened. It is still Ollie Henley ahead of Brendan McVie and Nathan Burnswood. As we see, Pointy still takes some very interesting lines, I guess.
And there's a 5-second penalty coming in for car number 27, that is Scott Walker.
Find him. He's very far down, actually.
He's in the 27th position, I believe.
Yes, he is. Right in front of last week's Hugh Gooder, Jack Harvey.
Who doesn't seem to be enjoying these conditions in his Lexus, which supposedly is a very good car in wet and damp conditions.
Presumably, but we are not exactly seeing that today. If we have a bit of a split up here, but... Whoa, 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 why did I cut away from that? That was a slide. Old Racing simply sliding into the braking zone, and that's not good. Also, Brian Dell has apparently gone past Sekansi, who is backwards.
Yeah, Sikanzi kind of spun out there and could not get it going in time, so he lost quite a few positions right
That is
here.
quite a few positions. I'm counting 10 positions, actually.
At least, yeah, because there was Tom Tweedy going past, I
And
believe.
Chris Meadows, of all people.
Oh,
Back up here, we are still... There's a rinse moral, by the way. Still 3 people, kinda in the train. Kinda finding position, kinda not. Or actually... No, that's... No, sorry, 3. I can't count.
oh. It seems like there's another 10-second penalty coming in for Hugo Sanchez. He's not having the best of days today.
He's having an outright bad day, actually. If we can find him. At P31.
Considering where he started, that is not a bad position, but considering his 20 seconds worth of penalties coming in... Oh,
And he will be serving
poor guy.
those in the first pit stop.
Poor guy.
Indeed.
Ollie Hanley, in the meanwhile, driving away from the rest while there's still fighting going on for P4, I believe.
And a lot of fighting. It's not exactly fighting anymore, but right here in P5, it's Pointy and Cramp. Cramp? Yes, Cramp.
You see
Again,
everyone going over there to the right side because it looks like there is less moisture going on over there.
It doesn't look like we'll see a dry line, but it doesn't exactly look like we're going to be drowning either.
Now, luckily, the thunderstorms have set out for today, so we only have medium rain in quotation marks, which already is too much for some people out there.
We got a shout out. Oh, sorry.
I do not want to blame anyone right here for being bad in these conditions. It's not everyone's game, and that is fine. That is absolutely fine.
And that's. Oh. And we got a shout out for Jordi Zambrano. So we're looking at him now.
Yeah, he's got a beautiful livery, that Petronas looking AMG right there.
Indeed.
I enjoy the color scheme very much.
We're gonna go.
Oh,
sorry. We just cut away from that.
Yeah, I just went a little bits on the inside there. As we're back up with Nathan Wells, who is currently defending from Fabian Poigny. The vegan went past, apparently.
At some point, yes.
So Nathan Wells is now defending from Paul Cramp, very aggressively so, if I might add.
It's probably not a good idea to go that defensive because it's rain and somehow you will end up killing someone, probably.
And there's a 10-second penalty coming in for Denathan Terrence again.
But he just got to P11.
It is unfortunate. But that's the way things go when you spin someone out.
Indeed. Right. The first of the important people to pit are coming. Brandon McVie, Brian Dell, and Thomas Menning.
That is a very early pit. I guess they must have been stuck in traffic and didn't enjoy it. But Brandon McVie was...
He was up there.
Questionable choices, if I may add, but...
What does the weather forecast say?
The weather forecast says it stays medium rain, so people are going to stay on the wet tires, definitely.
Then it is questionable. Oh, we got a yellow flag. A car I can't see in turn 1.
I believe that was car number 64.
Yes, I would...
Mark Turner. Unfortunate.
And yeah. Hey, another AMG boy. We love those. But I love them. I'm an AMG driver myself.
Well, AMGs have beautiful liveries right around here. Yellow flag in turn 1, car number 136. That is Michael Luckey, our resident American. One of them.
I can't find him on display suddenly, but he is moving again at least. We are not exactly seeing more pit stops. Jason Daly is in the pit. Dominic Joy, Jesper Eriksson, and our 15-second guy, Andrew Hearn. Elsewhere, we have Ollie Henley still on track, and if I know him right, he's going to stay out as long as he can.
I mean, he's definitely in the position to stay out a few more laps. He's not yet catching up to any traffic, that's the word.
Deli and Terrence going hard. Going in. Of course, it's 483 that's going hard. Leonard DeMorinck, who's actually going too hard, I guess.
Unfortunate for the Belgian. Having a spin right down there.
The two P many despite being starting as number 41. And yes, Brexit, I do not know why he always does that. But there's some people, when you just look at them, they crash. Let's see, where is Chris when I need him? We'll deal with Chris Meadows later. Because we have a pit stop, I think. Or a crash, I'm not entirely sure. Pointy has apparently... I think he's lost position. He had still his position for some reason.
Yeah, to Paul Cramp.
Yeah.
Who is looking like he's has a very good drive right now. Making up the positions he lost at the start. Because obviously he started in P3, went down a few positions at the start, and now is back up into P3 again.
But, I mean, the same thing happened to Burnswood. Had a good start, or had a bad start, and regained it. But
Yeah,
we're just not
also
seeing the leaders
pitting
going in.
Yeah, lovely. What we realized through that, however, is that...
He's pitting.
No, I wanted to say...
That Ollie Henley is pitting.
Not... Ollie Henley is also pitting.
Actually, top 5 is pitting. All of top 5.
That is very early, I reckon.
Yeah, I mean, I just said, oh, they're not gonna pit till late, but I'm wrong.
I also thought they was going to do one more lap. But it seems like there's a 10-second penalty now coming in for car number 2, which is Thomas Menning.
What did he do?
He did brake too late and rear-ended 983, causing them to spin. Number 983, that is...
Stephen Boomatix.
Oh, unfortunate for our resident livery maker.
Alright, Ollie Henley comes out of pits in P1, as expected. Now he just needs to not hit whoever's behind him. Who else comes out?
I don't think
We just had one here. Nathan Burns would hit Serenity Morrill in the pit exit. Nathan, who should already be... Yeah, Nathan should be on an investigation for another incident with Pointy only 15 minutes ago. That's probably not good.
that incident is still not under investigation.
Oh, dear.
Well. As there is a 10-second penalty coming in for car number 257.
I don't know who that is. 5-7. Oh, it's Hoynarescu again.
As Hoynarescu, he went into the back of number 983.
Is it just a Bunatics aiming session? Right. Our on-track leader, Subichaji, is coming in for the pits, and that leaves Tom Tweedy in the lead.
Very brave doing another lap right at this time. He definitely does have the time for it, but... Well, I would have pitted already, even if I had the space.
But then again, it does help to be brave when you want to win races, and there goes Hugo Sanchez. Ollie Henley is not wasting time.
Seems like there's a 5-second penalty coming in for car number 78, which is Daniel Grundhofer, who drifted wide and hit car number 159.
Just see Ollie Henley back into the floor. That was awkward.
So now we're coming into the now Shubik Chatterjee is leaving the pits, leaving Tom Tweedy far out, and obviously Ollie Henley in the lead. Out of the people who have pit already.
Sanchez is in the pits. And so is Griffith, so...
Only one more person than Tom Tweedy, who stayed out the longest. The best endurance out of our drivers.
The boldest man, at least, but he will have to pit now or face the consequences. In the Zero Corsa rules, you just have to cross the pit entry line before the time runs out.
Yeah, and you also have to cross the pit entry line correctly. That was something that was made well aware.
Yeah, we had that discussion a lot.
There was a long discussion among the stewards and among the staff regarding that. Let's see how he does that. That was barely okay, but it was okay.
It was okay enough, I think. So, I mean, that should leave Ollie Henley in the lead again, not surprising. Brian Dell is the closest person to a fight here, being half a second behind Chatterjee. I'm on board with him.
And I'm just seeing the incident with Nathan Burnswood before was deemed a racing incident.
I'm not sure I agree, but I am not a steward, so...
But Brian Dell is looking well, actually. He started in P8, still up in P9, managed to keep his position nicely up there, as he's being followed by 3 angry cars.
Of course they're angry. They're Italian, most of them.
Oh! There's been a huge spin.
I don't know, was he touched, or... We were inside the car, so we didn't exactly see it.
Radaeli was touched by Mike Doherty, I'm afraid.
That is not... I mean, unfortunate, but...
That is going to be a 10-second penalty for Mike Doherty, most likely.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. Estelle now makes it through traffic. Randy Morrill and a guy in a interesting colored car. I don't know how to describe it. Back up front. Actually, let's go back here because is about to find us somewhere. Okay, he is far behind Burnswood after all.
Tom Tweedy did his pit, right?
He did, yeah.
Okay, so he is currently looking... well, it's still updating.
It's still updating his position, yeah.
I was about to say from P16 into P6 there would have been a nice recovery.
But it wasn't. Anyway, Chatterjee. Is within striking distance of Wells. As much as you can be in this weather.
Oh, number 285 just had an incident.
Tell me all about it.
There's a yellow flag on track. Who's number 285? Oh, that's Serenity Morrill, not having the best of races.
Not a good day.
He's currently in last position after having had a great qualifying session.
We're on board with Greatrix because he is catching up to Dell.
Paul Greatrix had a nice drive in this race, starting from P15 now up into P9 and looking at P8 right directly in front of him. So he has been showing the Ferraris capabilities as well as the other people in front of him.
And as my dear co-host dies, apparently, it is still 6 Ferraris in top 10. And for some reason, Daniel Terry, but he will lose his position because 20 seconds of penalties.
Yes, I'm very sorry for my call thing. It is definitely not a currently ongoing pandemic that causes that.
I hope not. I don't want to have to get out and get another co-host.
As there's a 10-second penalty coming in for car number 75, Nathan Burnswood.
Oh, it happened anyway. Or, yeah, that was the Serenity Moral crash, right?
It was, yes, it was actually.
Yeah, I mean, we
And
didn't exactly see what happened, but I mean, I think he cut her off or something.
Let's see what happens. 75 hits a lap car, which tries to leave enough space and spins out. That is the description of what happened.
I can believe that description.
There is a 10-second penalty coming in for car number 112, Mike Doherty, which, as we saw also on screen, happened. And there's a 5-second penalty for car number 483.
Oh no, they're not gonna like that. Let's go for it, Leonard DeMark.
Leonard DeMoink, that is very unfortunate. 5-second penalty for losing control over a curb and having contact with car number 999, causing them to lose a position.
Back down to Greatrix, who is still, who has actually gone past Brian Dell now.
It just got past Brian Dahl because Brian Dahl had the problem into turn 1 going very wide there.
Should have 2 laps left. Not much fighting left to do though. Ridelli is right on the bottom of 280 now. And Sakansi in the background as well, actually. Fighting for P4 in the AM class.
Yes, and here we can actually see that the pros generally shifted upwards in the standings as they showed their little bit more of experience during the race, which they could not do during the qualifying session.
Indeed. Actually, this is probably a battle for third because Thomas Minning has a 10-second penalty and he's probably going to lose to Tweedy and Ridelli.
Yes, he's not very far in front, about 3 seconds currently on track in front. So we got a battle for podium between Tom Tweedy and Maurizio Radelli, who both made up quite a few positions during the course of this race. Both are feeling the pressure. Tom Tweedy in front, currently on a very quick lap, and as well as Maurizio Radelli in the back.
Overall, it looks kind of settled, I guess. P2 still 11 seconds down. Somehow.
Yeah, it has been a very nice drive by Ollie Hanley, very safe. Something that we kind of missed during I believe the first race last time around.
It was hard to have a safe race on first of all tracks.
But it is also hard to have a safe race on the Nurburgring when it is raining. So, kudos to everyone who managed to get through this without any incident.
Indeed.
As there's a 5-second penalty coming in for Stefan Bunatix.
Oh no.
Who had an incident with car number 69, Ben Kobe.
Nice. Sorry. Yeah. I just like, am I gonna say it or am I not gonna say it? I don't know. That's not the point. Strategy is catching up to Wales here. This is for position.
The leader has finished the race.
And actually, we're gonna cut back because Henley has just crossed the finish line. Dominantly. McVie coming in behind. I mean, Burns would, and all in Burns would, but he had a 10-second penalty, so that's not gonna stick. And Paul Cramp coming in third in the class. Orny is gonna be the AM winner. And if we go down here, I think
I'm actually not sure. That might have been 10 seconds right there between Burnswood and Pointy crossing the line.
we'll have to double check that one. And who's Chatterjee? I don't know how to explain who Chatterjee is. He's a person. As Tom really comes in very hot, right behind Meadows and right in front of Ridelli. This is Chatterjee. This guy. Yeah. Don't you have something interesting to say about him, actually?
Shubik Chatterjee, our resident Indian. He's been sim racing for 6 months and he spins a lot, is his fun fact.
That's just the usual fact, but we'll take it. People are making it around. Des Moines coming in, P24. Got Walker, 25. So Ready Tomorrow not coming in last. Andrew Hearn and his million penalties, P36. There's a lot of people here. And we'll contemplate those after this intermission, I believe we'll call it. Ain't that so, my dear Julian? We'll go
Intermission is a fine word.
We'll go to a slight intermission and then we'll be right back in 2 minutes. There we go, we have sound again. And welcome back. We have a nice little podium here. Consisting of more or less the people we expected, I think. Ollie Henley, McVie, Cramp, Pointy, Burnswood, and somehow Treaty. What are your thoughts, Julian?
Well, it's been quite the race. I actually don't know too much what to say right now, except for it was a great drive for Brendan McVie, putting himself from P6 into P2 in the first lap already, being so very stable and keeping it for all of the race. That was a beautiful race.
I mean, Ollie Henley did much of the same thing, but at least he stuck to it. I mean, he started in pole and he finished in first, so not much to say about that.
He stuck to his game, which looks like to be his A game today, Ollie Henley, and let's see if he can redo that in the second race.
And I mean, Burnswood should have won, but he got the 10-second penalty. Menning should have gone third, but also got a 10-second penalty. But it just shows that the race isn't. It's still pretty close after all.
It's a war of attrition. Attrition being penalties, right? In this case.
Indeed, indeed. I mean, Dan Terry, I think, finished P9 on track, but actually, he lost a lot of position because he like 20 seconds of penalties, I think. Andrew Hearn had a lot of penalties, but he still. I just want to bring him up because he started poorly, but finished 36th despite getting, I think, 20 seconds of penalties.
Yes, he started in dead last. And to make up any positions from that position is quite a good mental game, because you have to be composed in order to come from so far back, seeing everyone in front of you, but then still thinking, I need to do this, I need to fight
I
for
can
this
do this. I
place.
can do this, you know?
Yeah.
Now, we are not back on the track yet, but I can tell you it is, I think it's wetter now, actually, than before. Which is something for the viewers to about. Let's just switch to a different screen here so we can actually see the track. See, it is slightly wetter.
Medium rain is going on for all of the race. It looks like all of the 30 minutes of the second race. And no wind, which means rain is coming down straight. Dead straight.
Does that actually matter, so to say, in this case?
The wind matters little. Quite little, I have to honestly say, because these cars are so aerodynamic. They are not very affected by the wind, but it is still a tiny factor, making up, let's say, a few hundreds, maybe a lap, if there's a bad wind.
Does it matter with the rain, though? That's what I'm worried about.
That is a good question. And unfortunately, you're asking the wrong person. We're going to have to ask someone at
Where is Harris when we need him? Harris would notice.
Where is Aris when we need him? What would Aris do?
And here's Paul Greatrix not pressing drive, so that's him out of top 10.
Oh, that is unfortunate.
Could have started P15, but is now starting not P15, and I've forgotten to actually turn the game sounds on. Oh. The grid is the same as the first race, but the slight change of Greatrix not actually starting.
Very unfortunate for him, but Ollie Henley is still unfazed by that happening.
He should be. I mean, he just dominated, so let's expect him to do it again.
We're expecting him to do it again, definitely, but he should be worrying a bit about Paul Gretrix still, simply because they are fighting for the championship.
Yeah, I mean, I would have worried too, but he just put himself out of contention, I think.
I think he just left the server. I think he might have just
I know what you're thinking, because I saw him have a huge flag spike before we started.
Ooh.
But I'm not exactly confirmed on that, but yeah, he has left the server, I think. Then.
Very unfortunate for the championship contender.
Look at the back here, are we missing anyone? In particular, no. And yes, the Bentley, of course, gets affected by, right? I mean, it's huge. Boats get affected by wind, right?
Actually, the Bentley is one of the most aerodynamic cars, which is the reason why it had its engine BOP'd down very heavily.
You're telling me that the Bentley is aerodynamic.
I'm telling you that the Bentley is one of the most aerodynamic GT3 cars out there.
Let's just have a closer look at it. Just so I can really chase cam. And then I just need to press the right button here. Let me just get this straight. This is aerodynamic. That's your definition of aerodynamic.
It is! It is!
You're mad. You're
I
mad
might
and
be
crazy.
mad, but I might be mad, but I'm taking my information from Kunos. And Kunos is to be trusted with.
Nah, I'm not gonna believe it. Just because they developed the game doesn't mean they know anything, you know? That's me getting kicked out of any beta I ever had the chance of joining, I guess.
What we know, however, is that we're now in double file.
Sure are, and I am now out of Monster Energy.
Oh, that is horrible.
It's horrifying. I might actually die within the next 30 minutes. Alright, let's come around here. And Burns would do a better start than before. Can Henley win it again? We'll see in a few seconds.
Line. Go, go, go.
And thank you, Paul Glover, for subscribing. You are a badass.
And it seems like Nathan Burnswood has a beautiful start this time around. Not
Much
looking
better.
to lose many positions.
Once more, no one seems to have killed each other.
There has been some problems on the back of the grid. Car number 94 is very slow. There's Eric Strom. And there's some spun cars.
Yep, that's a Spinala. Oh, that's Rodelli. That is Rodelli is down. Mauricio Rodelli, last race, P3 is down, and he also has a drive-through actually for speeding.
Oh, that is very unfortunate.
And that is actually the definition of sad. In front, Ollie Henley has taken a big one, leading again. Nathan Burnswood has, for some reason, gone offline, I think. I think Burnswood has crashed. His computer has crashed.
Oh. He looked like he had a good start
Yeah,
right there.
just flat out disappeared. And we'll just wait for what's called the whole game to update the standings now, because there is quite the confusion going on.
What we do know is Ollie Henley is safely in the lead, 2 seconds already in front of Fabian Poigny.
Alright, Burnswood is definitely out, and Rodelli is definitely last. So Ollie Henley in front of Poigny and Paul Krampf. And you know, Brexit, that is true. Don't trust the timing until they've actually crossed the line. Oh, we got some yellow flags, I think.
Car number 136 is involved. That is Michael Lucky.
And a Bentley. And let's hope they don't get hit by Rodelli when he comes past. They don't. 78.
They are lovely in waiting right there for everyone to pass.
Yeah, that's the right thing to do.
Be safe and wait.
Jason Daly has towed to the pits, or he, I don't know, never started, I guess. And here's Ollie Henley in the grass. Right in front of another grass eater, Fabian Poigny. You're welcome.
Grass seed is a bit of a harsh...
You know what? I had to think of my feet. It's 2 Ferraris in front.
3 Ferraris, actually.
Yeah, but well, he has to catch them first.
He's right on the back of Fabian Poigny.
Okay, fine. It's 3 Ferraris.
3 Ferraris in front of a Porsche, in front of a Lexus. That is a top 4 that I would have not expected.
I don't know. I kind of feel like I expected it after the qualifying.
After the qualifying, yes, but before that, definitely not. Brian Dahl having had a mare right now,
Oh, that's
falling
sad.
down the order.
I would go to him, but we're still watching this. Brian Dahl had a great race in race 1. Another shout out for Jordi Sembrano. Let's see where he is actually. He is
Not doing
E33.
too hot. 33.
Still, if you're gonna support a person, why not him?
If we're going to go to Brandon McVie real quick, he's
With
being
pleasure.
followed very closely by Shubik Chatterjee,
Very closely.
who's looking to get the provisional podium for the Pro Split. He's following
Yeah.
right there behind, trying to get a bit of toe.
Oh,
Going on the inside there, braking late, but Brandon McVie in the push,
no,
of
I
course,
think there's
having
room.
good
I think
brakes.
there's room. No, that wasn't room.
There was room, but he wasn't quick enough into the corner. Or Brandon McVie was well enough at defending there.
Indeed, but I mean, he still has a chance. So we're just gonna go quick up here to Paul Crampf. Guess they're gonna get a hairpin soon and might make it. Gotta go on board here with the Apex Predator cam, I've decided to call it. Not that I think Crampf is an Apex Predator, but is chasing
Paul
his prey.
He's definitely chasing Fabian Poigny, and the problem is that their fighting is helping Ollie Henley driving away again.
Yep, just like race 1 and the last 2 races we had actually on Bathurst. Elsewhere on track, Serenity Moral is not having a nightmare this time.
However, Thomas Manning he just lost it after turn 6 and lost out to half of the grid.
Oof. We go, some Jordi Zambrano. Paul Greatrix behind him, who is apparently online again.
Oh, he's made it back. Lovely.
Yeah. Oh, hey. Zambrano has taken damage, I think. At Bonnet ain't looking too hot. Elsewhere, Lunatics had a big one, I think, somewhere. And Rodelli has a 15-second penalty. There is stuff happening in the background, I think. And
there's a 10-second penalty coming in again for Hugo Sanchez. And a 10-second penalty for car number 52, which is Paul Gretrix.
Oh.
Unfortunate.
Too aggressive, I guess.
He went for a risky move in the last chicane. Yes.
There's no room for a risky maneuver there.
There is not really the room there. That is correct. Oh, it seems like Brandon McVie had some trouble. He lost out to half of the grid.
Yeah, I was about to say, where is he? I pushed Jetty in third, but yeah, he's lost a lot of positions.
The pit is now open.
It looks like there's a 10-second penalty coming in for car number 2, which is Thomas Menning. Unfortunate for him again.
Oh, and commentators curse as Serenity Moral goes. She has a big one here. I was just about to say she's gonna win, but isn't.
No, Fabian Poigny is also an M driver, by the way.
Yeah, but I mean, winning in a moral sense, you know. She was. That wasn't even intended. That pun, I swear. I swear that was not intentional.
I do not believe you.
I can't help it. But it wasn't
Anyways,
intentional. Anyway.
there's a 10-second penalty coming in for Shubik Chettici.
Oh no. Did he hit McVie or?
He hit car number 61, which is Brent McVie. Yes.
It all makes sense now, but if he has any damage, at least he'll get to take it now because he's coming in along with Turbo Tondi and Jonathan Terrence. Although I think the car looks fine, I just think he's taking a pit stop opportunity. But yeah, he must have punted him. That is the most likely explanation.
Oh, Brent McVie being in the pits right now. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I see.
Let's go into track. Fabio Sicanzi is doing a Tokyo drift, which means Jake Harvey and Dominic Joy goes past. Chalk another one up for the commentator's curse.
That is going to hurt for Sikanzi. He was up for at least the podium there in the AM split in tier 4.
Well, he hasn't quite given up life, I guess.
No, he shouldn't give up because anything can happen. We're still 20 minutes to go and it's wet Nurburgring. Almost wanted to say Silverstone for some reason.
I don't know why. Andy Forbes is up high, actually. Not a guy I'm used to seeing up here.
Yeah, it looks like he's been having a good race, making up 8 positions so far.
Yeah.
Starting in 18th, now up into P10 overall.
I think... Nope, he's not pitting. There's just... Timing app just said, something is happening. But it isn't.
One of the biggest winners, however, Ben Kobe of the start. Started in 23 and is now up into 13.
And only 3
And is
people
looking
has
at
pitted yet.
And Kobe looking pretty unstable right
yeah,
here right now.
that's not healthy. Of course, no one is having a stable day here, but doesn't mean you have to be a very unstable driver today. Ollie Henley still leading, unsurprisingly.
And quite comfortably so right now, 4 seconds in the lead. 3 to 4 seconds in the lead in front of Fabien Poigny, who himself is 1.5 seconds in front of Paul Krampf.
But all in all, it's a bit of a copy of race 1. By that I mean that the drivers have already spread out pretty much. Like butter on some uninteresting toast.
Mike Doherty is being followed quite closely by Serenity Morrow right now, who is looking to redeem herself after a not the best of race 1s.
And a bad race 1, actually.
Oh,
that's a line and a half, but I mean, if you're gonna go off, at least do it there.
This was one of the most forgiving spots on the track, I have to give you that, to going off.
It doesn't exactly seem to have hurt her.
It did not really. She's still looking quite comfortably in front of Jack Harvey.
We got some people who want to see some stuff.
Leonard de Moink is in P19.
Indeed, yes. And Jason Daly is offline. There you go, Flynn. He is not here at all.
Unfortunately, he could not join today, apparently.
Actually, he did join, I think. I saw him race. And then I saw him not race. Ramp is catching up to point E now, though. Now, go, yes.
It seems like Poigny must have had a problem somewhere, because that is quite a quick catch-up.
And they're about to hit traffic as well, and Jack Harvey is getting a 10-second penalty. Could you elaborate on that?
Chakavi, number 159. He brakes too late, hits and spins out car number 55. That was Brian Dall.
Oh. And Laurel has had some kind of incident because she's lost several seconds.
Yeah, she's not looking too stable right now, unfortunately.
I mean, she is in a Lambo on Nurburgring in the rain.
She is in a Lamborghini on the Nurburgring. That is correct. And there's a 10-second penalty coming in. And that's the first for crossing the pit exit line. For car number 23.
It's a familiar number. That's...
Somebody snitched there. On Tondirai Pambawashe. No, Turbo
Not Turbo.
Tondi.
Not Turbo. Tondi. He's the best guy. Ah, well now I'm sad. This won't do. There's a yellow flag. Number 183? Or 483? Yeah, 183. Don't worry.
We are halfway through, not over yet.
I don't have so many people with 8-3s in their names.
Because it's a lovely combination of numbers.
Okay. Alright, Pointy is in the pits. Chatterjee has a penalty. For some reason. Doherty is in the pits. Wells is in the pits. A lot of people are in the pits now, so we'll see what happens.
Chatterjee just hit the back of Paul Krampf. There's nothing much that happened there. I don't think it's going to be a result in a penalty.
No, he already has 10 seconds.
Yeah, that is the problem.
Okay, yeah, just checking. Because Paul does seem to have taken a bit of a bonk on the butt. As Pointy now leaves the pit behind Tweedy. And almost leaves the pits into Tweedy.
Yeah, it's a challenging pit exit, even though you have so much space here.
And
It's
there's
2-1.
Andrew Hearn going. Mowing the lawn.
Yeah, it's one thing that McLaren is really good for, because it sits so low above the ground.
It's excellent at mowing lawns. Ollie Henley comes in now. Whereas Paul Krampf, he is a few seconds behind.
Also coming into the pits.
Indeed, and Chatterjee as well. So that's top three. That means it'll mean Jack Harvey is actually leading despite having 10-second penalty, which technically means that Andrew Hearn just went off-road again, I think. Looked like Andrew. Technically, Tom Tweedy is leading the race. That's what I'm trying to say. Technically.
You know what else is currently technically happening? Ben Corbet making up 16 positions from P23 into P7 right now. Nice drive by him.
Yeah.
Currently in the pits.
See, Henley should be... Henley is still stationary.
Oh, and there's a 10-second penalty coming in for car number 55.
The name sounds familiar. That's because it's Brian Dell.
Brian Dell, unfortunate, but he crossed the pit entry line.
Oh, don't do that.
On this occasion. And yes, crash between Shubik Chatterjee and Paul Krampf, the little nudge, was deemed a racing incident.
Huh. The lawnmower is entering the pits. The world's
Andrew
most...
Hearn.
Yes, that's his name now. Lawnmower. Along with Eus and Sanchez.
Serenity Moral is not enjoying this track today.
Ah, doesn't seem like it. Although she's actually in an okay position, all things considered.
She is in a good position right now, but she took P1 pretty dodgy. Do I just want to say, and almost lost out on a position right there.
Well, we'll blame it on the rain and hope that she has a better time next week. Go back on track here. Ollie Henley, not surprisingly leading, with 10 seconds down to Fabian Poigny.
Ollie Henley's again showing what he can do around Nurburgring in the rain, nonetheless.
Nonetheless.
Very safe drive so far, and he only has 10 more minutes to go.
I mean, when you're just very good at your job, I worry, you know? He can just... I'm not saying he'd cruise around, but he is in a position where he could if he wants to.
One person who cannot cruise around is Fabio Sicanzi, who is being followed very closely by Shubik Chatterjee.
But that is not for class position, however.
It is for overall position and the bragging rights, however.
The bragging rights are more important, though. I want to point that out. As we don't actually run an overall championship.
Doesn't matter. Am in front of pro. That is always good bragging rights.
I agree that bragging rights are, of course, important.
But what Sicanzi, he's in the Audi, which is a very dangerous car. I myself have experienced driving the Audi around Nurburgring in the rain, nonetheless, in a 3-hour endurance race.
I thought you hated that.
It was horrible. I didn't enjoy a single minute of it.
And if I don't remember wrong, you rage quit that event. You simply left before the time.
Yes, that was the first and only time I ever rage quit the race.
Well then. Well then.
Well then, very good on Fabio Sicanzi for being able to tame the beast in front of Chubik Chatterjee right now through the Schumacher S.
We are actually gonna go up to another guy who's doing stuff, Paul Krampf, who is looking at an Aston Button, or Aston Markbot, if that's what you're into.
He's looking at Mike Doherty.
You know, yes, a sense. Let's just see if he does anything going into the hairpin.
Hey, he's way too far behind right at the moment to do
Ah,
anything.
there goes Sicanzi. Sicanzi is now enjoying a bit of wall.
Unfortunate, but I guess that is kind of the commentator's curse in this case.
And there were some more cars there. Serenity Moral, I think. Hang on, let me get the camera up here. Serenity Moral and Brendan McVie. Brendan McVie has been taken out.
Not again.
Yes, again. I believe he collided with Serenity.
Pit window is closing now.
Because they were both very much parked in that chicane.
And that is correct. It is currently under investigation. By our resident Polish steward, Mr. Aronowitz.
Yeah. That's... maybe he can tell us how to pronounce Jatke.
That is a good idea. Or maybe we ask Jatke himself.
And Doherty goes off track. Paul Krampf is now past him.
That is Oh, he's been having such a good race until now.
Yeah, but you only need one or two stupid mistakes and then, well, then you're off-road.
One or two stupid mistakes, and suddenly a Honda is on the podium.
Not what you expected, is it?
Not really. And the Honda is very closely looking at Fabian Poigny in front as well.
I just want to point out, though, Jack Harvey, despite getting a 10-second penalty earlier, is currently on the podium in AM in Tier 4. If we at least
Right.
account for Turbotondi's 10-second penalty he is. Which I think is pretty impressive, all things considered.
What is also impressive, if we go up to P3, Jack Harvey, exactly. He is looking at the back of Fabian Poigny.
I just ruined Nathan Will's race, I think. I was looking at him, and that was it. Actually, it was because I had always selected him when he crashed. And now Paul Cramp is right on his butt. And oh no, that was an unsafe rejoin. That's Doherty, that's Cramp. That is a lot of crashing, and that is Nathan Wells getting slapped out of existence.
Well, there's Nathan Wells' race gone. Paul Cramp is still racing on in front right there.
Doherty is alive, but I think, yeah, Strategy is in front of him. But basically, I think Nathan Wells did an unsafe rejoin, and he collected Cramp, who collected Doherty.
I think that might become a 15-second penalty
That probably should be a penalty. Gotta be honest here.
And yes, there's been a 10-second penalty for Serenity Morrow for taking out Brandon McVie before.
Yes, don't do that. Okay. Yeah, Strategy definitely looks like he has... the gap down now. I can spell his name correctly here.
But it seems like Mike Doherty has quite the problem with his car right now.
Let's find him.
He's been off in the last few corners.
Yeah, I mean, he did definitely take a big hit. I'm not saying that's race over for him, but I mean, it's not exactly gonna go well for him.
No, I think this is race over for the American. Unfortunate.
Yeah, he had a great one until, well, shit happens, to put it mildly.
Until Nathan Wells happened today.
Yeah. We haven't mentioned him for a while, but Ben Cobby is doing still very well.
Ben Corbet on the podium for M Blitz. This is very, very important, the little apostrophe on the E.
Yes, I keep forgetting that, because we don't have apostrophes in my language. Puff. I don't even know how to pronounce them. We just don't use them.
But anyways.
Nathan Wells is chasing Dan Terry. But we can probably expect Wells to get a big old penalty.
It is looking like a 15-second penalty for Nathan Wells.
Probably
just been written into the steward's sheet.
Which means Indy Forbes is going to be 5 in the Tier 3. So he's having a good one in his public Oakley.
The Boatley showing what it can do in these conditions. Obviously, it's named after them.
But with 1 or 2 laps to go, it's Ollie Henley in front of Tier 3 and overall. Pointy leading Tier 4. Old Ramp, Charlie and someone going off-road. Turbo Tondi is now crashing. So that's another pile-up. Aren't you happy we caught that? They caught some traffic, and there was collisions.
That is unfortunate for Tondirai Mpambawache.
But I would say this looked like a racing incident. The car just slid. There was not much to it.
Yeah.
But Kobe is now actually in second. And should be a big old train of cars here.
Yeah, the big old train of cars is currently taking Tonderai and Pambuashe by force.
And eating him alive. Like a lion on the savannah.
That's a nice analogy.
Yeah, I don't actually know if they have lions where he's from, but I just rolled with it. Oh, there's some... and there's Tony getting... That was a bit of a takeout, though. Jack Harvey.
And the incident is being reviewed already.
Probably a good idea because we have less than a lap to go to find out if he actually did it.
There's a 5-second penalty coming in for car number 86, which is Eric Hodge, who's been having a great race so far.
Yeah, well, he's about to have a worse race.
Unfortunate for him, very unfortunate. But you know who's having a great race?
Ollie
Jonathan
Hindley?
Terrence.
Oh, okay.
Jonathan Terrence currently on P4 in his split.
I'm not comfortable with seeing him up that high, but I will accept it. He still owes me money. It's a long story. Let's see. Are they gonna throw a flag here? They are, and Ollie Henley makes it too. And Fabian Poigny also makes it too. Paul Graham coming in here. Also in a really good position. Chatterjee winning, I think, a lot of luck here, I think. A lot of people died in front of him. Kobe just having a great day overall. And
Ben Kobe from... Just a second, Ben Kobe from P23 into P5.
Driver of the day for sure, I've already decided. Andy Forbes having a good day. Nathan Wells already rage quitting, but provisional P7, but that will probably be hit with a big old penalty. Chris Meadows, very high up. Demoink from P39 to P16. On my display at least. But in the people who did other way, it's Brian Dell, it's Brian McVeigh, people who started great and just had incidents. Championship contender Paul Greatrix coming in at P23.
He definitely should have hoped for more there.
Yeah, but I mean, when your net craps out on lap 1, that is not how you start. And Serenity Moral, just not her weekend. Just
very unfortunate, especially seeing how well she was doing in the second race right there, until she wasn't anymore.
Until she stopped doing well, yes, that's danger. And someone is doing donuts. What's it doing?
There's a McLaren of Mihai Hoenrescu.
Yes, it is. I don't actually. Maybe they're not doing donuts. Maybe they're just crashing.
A bit for the fans.
Well, that was the end of that race. We're just gonna quit all to our cameras now because while we are waiting, it doesn't say Kobe. I mean, it should say Kobe, but the font doesn't recognize it. We'll just have to fix that.
Looks lovely. Looks lovely.
We'll just fix that. And we, of course, just need to get the positions confirmed. Because... yeah, Daniel Terry, P6. Yeah. Okay, the positions are right. So, Julian. Henley, huh?
Henley has been doing, wow, such an amazing job. Such a safe race. Such magnificent showing by the Brit to do a double header
I mean,
seemingly without a problem.
slight issues on the first lap, with people chasing him and trying to kill him, I think. But once you go past that, he just took off. And of course, Paul Cramp, 2 positions behind him, really solid. I mean, he was involved in some real old tussles, but I mean, he came through it.
It was a great race by many of these people. Great 2 races by many of these people. Unfortunately, there's been some mishaps too, but such is racing, especially in the wet.
Quite, I mean, we knew there was risk of rain, but it still caught people out. I mean, people except for Debbie and Pointy. I mean, he had solid races in Bathurst. He's had solid races now, and the same for Jack Harvey actually. But I think the surprise of the day is still Kobe.
Ben Kobe making up so many positions.
Like he was made to race in the rain.
A very strong showing by him, definitely.
And yes, there is a P in Ramp, I know. I mean, I have to type these on the go as we're recording this. Not easy. Not easy being us when everything breaks.
So, but it's also good seeing Jack Harvey back on the podium there after not having done so well in race one,
Race 1
as
now.
he's our championship leader for T4, for Tier 4 before this weekend. So he'll be pleased with seeing that.
If there are anyone that viewers would like to hear how did they do, ask now so we can tell you. Because I mean, we can't cover all 42 drivers. Like we only mentioned. I mean, I don't think we mentioned Jesper Eriksson today, and he finished 32nd. We definitely didn't mention Erwin Scholtens in P24. I mean, we mentioned a lot of. We didn't mention Goldenitz at any point, actually.
Oh, we did at one point, but yeah.
But he finished P41 in race 1. And very far down in race 2, actually.
Unfortunate weekend if you don't get picked up.
Yeah. Let's see. It's a good
But
time to come with the
anyways,
questions. Mark Turner, I think we mentioned once this weekend. Solid mid-tail performances. We can't exactly show the display right now, but actually we can. What am I saying? We can show you the results, albeit a bit small. Eric Hodge, racing. Griffel, good race, except for some penalties, obviously. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Say something intelligent, Julian. We need it.
We need something intelligent. All right. So, thanks you guys for watching today.
Thank you.
If you have any feedback for us, you are free to sign up to our Discord. There we go. It's in the channel. It's in the chat. There's a feedback channel there. We would love to hear your feedback regarding this stream.
Yeah.
What we can do better.
And are we using too many puns?
Oh no, we're not. No, definitely not.
I'm sad to hear that, but okay. We're definitely not. Okay, fine. But yeah, I mean, I think all there's left to say is that thank you for watching, and me and Julian will be on here next Saturday at the same time, and tomorrow it's gonna be Gareth and Dan, I think, or the pro split.
It's gonna be
No,
Gareth
it's Gareth
Ronda
and
and
Paul.
Stefan Bunetix.
Bonus 6, that works too, actually. Definitely Gareth, at least. And obviously they'll be faster, and it'll probably be an even wetter race with more crashes.
Ah,
And yeah, thank you to Sim Racing GP hosting us, Twitch for broadcasting this, yada yada yada. Thank you for
thanks to
watching.
Track Racer for being affiliates.
Yes, of course. Buy stuff from Track Racer, please. Thanks for subscribing, following. You know what? Just thank all of you, right? And thank you, Julian, of course.
And thank you, Lars.
Ah, love you too, but it's probably time for us to say goodnight. So, night? Yeah. Julian?
Good night.
Good night.
Have a nice one.
Yeah, we love you. See ya.
Start ignition, count to 0. I just wanna be a superhero. With fearless thoughts, emotions swirl.